your chicken, and then we have an interview of how good your chicken is. But so we've been out and about, but it's good to be back with you. Lee Baby Michaels doing his thing there and getting us going now, and he's walking away now because he knows he just leaves it up to me, Jesse T. Everything runs smoothly and perfectly, you know. Right. But when it does go wrong, you know, I go, Lee, Lee, come here. Can you imagine me on Channel 4 yelling Lee? Oh my goodness, that would be kind of cool. All right, so YouTube. Hey, you got to go to our YouTube channel. It's very important, YouTube Jesse Torero, because we're signing up subscribers left and right, free membership, because we're going to invite a couple of people out to the Academy Awards. I'm going to give away some Academy Award tickets to the pre-party and the post-party, which is at the world-famous historical Hollywood Palladium. And it is going to be absolutely huge, a 200-foot red carpet. We're going to be out there doing our thing on the Jesse T Show. And also what's going to be taking place is all the stars that aren't getting a trophy are going to be there. And then all the stars after that got the trophies are coming over, because it is the first big party, the Palladium, man, the first big party before Elton John and the Vanity Fair party after the Oscars. It's right around the corner from where the Oscars are at.
Nice.
Now, last year we were at the Hollywood Museum, but it's outgrowing. It's gotten so huge, and I'm going to give away. I'm going to bring two people with us, and I'm going to put you to work. And that's my cheap way. That's my cheap way of getting free help, man. That's right. That's it. I don't want to pay Lee Baby Michaels this year.
Better than
his price has gone up so much, man. You know, last year I got him for a couple burritos, and but now he's actually going to charge me some money.
Inflation, right?
Inflation. That's
there
right. That's right. Yeah, I'm trying to negotiate it down, man. Yeah, that's who I'm going to introduce here in a second. I'm just not going to tell you who he is. I'm going to introduce him in a second, though. But I did want to watch. I did want you to go to our membership, subscribe for free at YouTube, Jesse Torero, because what we're going to do is we are going to pick somebody, and that's what we're going to do. I want to have some pretty Latina girl that has blue hair and a green eye and a red eye, and has metal coming out of her right elbow connected to her left shoulder. What a look! Wow, man. Now we're going to
a couple of those.
Yeah, really? We'll have to talk about that. I had one that was wanting to cut my hair once. That's a whole nother story. But so I just want you guys to go check that out. Okay? All right. So today we are so blessed because we have a handsome gentleman, a terrific actor. Last seen in a couple of movies ago, actually, Straight Outta Compton. He was in that movie, and we're going to talk a little bit about his experience there and how that was to work on a movie that's made $166 million. Unbelievable.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. You know, look at it's not entirely true because I was there. You see, I was at 1580 K-Day between 83 and 91. I know all those guys.
Okay.
I know all. I paid Dre.
OGs.
I paid Dre $50 with the World Class Wrecking Crew to come down to National City roller rink in National City, San Diego.
Yeah.
To do his song for
National City. I used to sell used cars there.
Oh, well, then you know right what I'm talking about. You know the roller skate rink? The roller rink?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah.
That's right. I paid the World Class Wrecking Crew to come down there.
Really?
He used to broadcast from XHRM across the border in Tijuana, the urban station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Until they wouldn't let me come back to Mexico.
What'd you do, man?
That's a whole nother story. That's another story, man.
What didn't you do, right?
Oh, what? Let's put it to you this way. It's been 30 years since I've been back to Mexico, and I'm not going back. Well, no way, unless your name is Carlos Slim and you have the opportunity to pull some strings for me. But I've got to introduce this guy. We're talking. This is Arturo Jesus Jesse in English for use.
Tocayo.
Yeah,
namesake.
That's right. That we, we're brothers. We're brothers, right? But you do have to pronounce your last name for me because I want to make sure I get the proper pronunciation.
Encinas.
Encinas. See,
Yeah.
I was going to call him Encino, and then I was going to beg for a job because he probably inherited the Encino Rancho, which is in Encino by Calabasas, and that was the only ranch that Lankershim did not own when he bought all that land,
Really?
the whole San Fernando Valley, for 25 cents an acre
25 cents an acre.
in
Oh, my
1847.
goodness.
After California became state of California, he bought the tax note on it. The whole 300,000 acres of the San Fernando Valley, Lankershim, Isaiah Lankershim, bought it, and he grew wheat farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what it
Wheat,
was.
right?
Wheat and ranching, but wheat. He was the largest wheat provider in the United States of America for 80 years because they could grow wheat out here. It doesn't need a lot of water,
Right.
and they didn't have any water. They just had, some artesian wells. But anyhow, the Encino Rancho was the only rancho that he wasn't able to gobble up because the family, after the Spaniards owned it, then the Mexicans owned it, and then when the Americans got it, what happened was the Mexican family paid the tax,
Okay.
paid the California tax. That's how California, all these huge giant ranches, because the Mexican families couldn't pay the tax that inherited those ranchos
Right.
from the Spaniards. They couldn't pay the tax. They were wealthy, but they didn't have the cash to pay.
Imagine if they did.
Oh my goodness!
History would have changed.
No, it would have been
Completely.
different. It would have been a different history.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, so
You pronounced my first name correct, though. It's Arturo.
Arturo.
You know, it's an Italian Spanish name.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Which are you Italian?
I'm both. My father was born in Spain,
Okay.
but his father and his mother were both from Spain and Italy.
Okay. I did the ancestry DNA thing.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
Oh,
Now
it's-
they got you though, buddy.
I know. I know.
They got you, man, because all that data was just sold to
I know.
a provider, a service provider, data provider. So all that DNA data is
Well, you
now,
know, I believe I clicked on the little check mark
right.
where I don't give authorization. to do
Oh
so.
yeah, good luck. Yes,
But anyway,
yeah. So tell me, what are you?
I found
All right.
out my which came as
Move a
a
little
big
closer to the
surprise.
mic.
Yeah, came as a big surprise, but
Oh, closer. All right, there you go.
So I'm Mexican,
Right.
However,
I thought you were Polish.
well, my Polish. Well, my mother's
Here it comes.
grandfather was French,
Really?
Yeah, and then
well, that's Latin,
right?
Latin,
Yeah, and then my father's grandfather came from Jerusalem.
Really?
Yeah, but what I didn't know, what totally surprised
So
me, took me off guard.
he's Hebrew. He's Israeli. Yeah. Well, he was being Israelite.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm researching that.
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
but we didn't know that. I mean, my dad is like 33% Italian,
Yeah.
which blew my mind. I had no idea.
Well, all that Mediterranean stuff in there, Portugal, Spain,
Yeah.
France, Bavaria, because in Bavaria
Bavaria,
there's a lot
right,
of
correct.
dark-eyed, dark-haired people.
Very
Like Hitler
peninsula,
was dark-eyed and dark-haired. Okay, he wasn't this white Aryan race, what people think he was, blue-eyed. No, he wasn't that. He was the opposite, actually. The Greeks, the Italians, the Sicilians, all of those people were under the Moorish or the North African Empire, the Moors Empire, for almost 600
years,
years. So, they did a lot of wham bam, thank you,
We're
Matt.
gonna commingle a lot,
They
yeah.
were knocking the boots for 600 years. So they changed the northerner, the Viking northern central European look that propagated all through the continental Europe today. They changed that bloodline, that DNA, over 600 years. And so it became darker, more pigment in the skin, darker eyes, darker hair. My father is black as a lot of people think that some of the blackest pigment skin comes from Africa. No, man, you've never been to India. You want to see dark pigment skinned people? I mean, India, primary, right in the middle of India. You got some of the dark. They are purple black, are in India, right? And the pigment of their skin. So, but because of that, my dad has really dark skin. He's a dark Spaniard, not a fair complected Spaniard, dark Spaniard, and so with a dark brown eyes and jet black. El Diablo, man, he was the devil. Jet black hair, but and so the Italians always thought he was Sicilian.
Oh, really?
When he was growing up in his neighborhood, but he was from his family namesake is from central part of Italy.
Okay.
Central north rather than central south.
Yeah.
And certainly not in the island of Sicily. He didn't come from there. So, yeah, man, people don't understand. And when you do those DNA, was it a shocker when you opened it up?
It was. It was a shocker, I mean, because the percentages are pretty large, obviously from Spain, and then Italian. And it's just like, so I confirmed it because I did it with my dad as well. And it just shows you, I believe that everybody should take this test because that would just, just demolish and just, erase, I believe, racism and bigotry in this country.
Well, it certainly would add to a lot of answers of why people are who they are.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
what they thought they were.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No, because no humans that have ever walked the planet
100%.
Earth from the time,
One race.
whatever you believe in, whether it was creationism or you believe in Darwinism or you believe in alien biological experimentation, whatever it is that you believe in about planet Earth, we're all friggin' mixed up together.
Absolutely, we are.
I mean, think about it. Think about it for a second. You got this long, lean person coming out of Africa because nobody farmed. Everybody followed the water and followed the food. That's how they ate. Farming didn't happen till hundreds of thousands of years later, the agricultural-based society in the Mesopotamia region. But you got these long, lean, slender people walking out of Africa, migrating or immigrating through Asia Minor, which is the Middle East, coming into what is Greece today, or the Macedonia area, right? Coming in, crossing up near the Black Sea, because there's land bridges there, crossing over into continental Europe, where you have the Northerners from Russia, the Caucasus, the Caucasians, that's where they came from,
exactly.
the Caucasus Mountains, the Caucasians, coming down this way, and you have these little more squat, little more heat, trapping of heat. Is when you're shorter and squatter, you hold heat, and it's cold in Northern Europe. People don't realize how cold it is in Europe, but in Africa, it's not. So you have a longer, leaner body, right?
Right.
So can you imagine
the body adapts? Yeah.
Right. Well, the body adapted to its areas. But can you imagine this dude? He's walking around and he's on top of this mountain, right? And he sees a Caucasian, someone who's like a girl, right? A woman, right? And they're all running around buck ass naked. All of them are pretty near, right? So he sees that and he looks at his girls over here that's traveling. He goes, man, that's looking different. I like that, right? You think for 1 second, Arturo, he's not going to try to do some wham, bam, take him
That's
down.
what happened, yeah.
Right? And conversely, the other way, there's some male or female Caucasian, Caucasus, Viking, Norsemen living in that area even before them. And they see these long, lean, tall people, right? Coming over the mountains.
Like, wow, that's attractive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honey, you need to lose some weight. That's right. Man, you got to go to the 24-hour fitness center here and raise some brontosaurus eggs or something, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you. Absolutely. So we've been co-mingling.
There you go. There you go, folks. And there's a history segment for you on the Jesse T Show.
That's right. Thank you very much. Okay. So it's so excited we knocked the Facebook cam down. But seriously, we are, and I think that was exciting that you did that. I haven't done that.
You should check it out.
I haven't done it because I'm such a freak that this anti-government stuff. I just don't want anybody knowing.
Well, you could opt out.
Yeah. Of that stuff, you could, but it's like this one world order stuff. You know, there's one economy, one
Same
world.
thing with my dad said.
Globalist, elitist.
Yeah.
The rich are getting richer. The global elitists don't need to worry about money. They got it all. They just want power and control over people's lives. And then you and I, the middle class, is becoming poor. And that's just not in America. That's all across the world. But it's really affected in America now more than ever
more than
before.
ever.
And so that separation just kind of, you know, hey, man, I got my AR-15. I got bullets and Band-Aids. That's right. And talk about bullets and Band-Aids, man. Straight out of Compton.
That's right.
Now, how did you get that?
You know, just auditioning. You know, it's a funny story because I actually you're talking about Dr. Dre.
Right.
I was on my way to the Hills actually, and I was lost. Right.
Right.
So,
did you audition for him at his house, or did you?
No.
Aftermath? Did you go to Aftermath, or
no, not with Dr. Dre. This was
Okay.
a regular audition.
Right. Okay.
But so I'm waiting right to make a turn, but I'm lost. So I'm like, where the heck am I? So I'm there like 2-3 minutes.
Right.
And then somebody honks. Right.
Right.
There's this white Range Rover behind me. I'm like, dude, like seriously, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, let me take my time here. You know, it's like you could go around me or whatever, but it was like a cul-de-sac. Anyway, so I'm making a U-turn. I'm gonna dog this guy. Like, dude, seriously?
Oh no!
Oh,
you're dogging him, man.
Yeah.
You're going, hey.
So I'm like, come on, man. Like, chill, you know?
Yeah, right.
And it turns out it's Dr. Dre. He's just like,
He's dogging you back.
I'm
man.
like, oh man, hey, you're the man. Hey, it's all good, man.
That's
You can
right.
honk all you want.
That's right. He's dogging you back.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, he was a middle class kid. He was on an Art Linkletter show when he was 6 years old.
Right, yeah.
And Art Linkletter had him on his knee, and they were talking to each other. He came from a middle class family. He wasn't a gangster
That's
kid.
right. That's right.
He was not a gangster
middle-class,
kid. Now, you know, Eazy-E was.
Right.
Ice Cube was.
Yeah, they were.
And the original NWA and all those original cats were. But Dre wasn't. Dre was a smart, educated kid who went to public and private schools. Both parents were professionals, and he lived in a great neighborhood. So, you know, he became this. Because I remember him when he was with the World Class Wrecking Crew. He was their DJ. And, you know, they had the spandex with the rouge on the cheeks, you know, the whole 9 yards, right? And they were great. The World Class Wrecking Crew was great, but he was not the image several years later that created gangster rap.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he knew these dudes. He knew Easy. He knew all these cats.
Right.
Because Easy performed for me for $500 when he was 15 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he knew these cats, but he wasn't one of these cats. So it's an interesting, but that's still somebody you didn't want to mess with.
No,
You
not
know,
at all.
so
And it's funny because, you know,
Now, was this after you did the movie or before?
this was
you?
before. So it's funny
Whoa,
because...
this is...
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's weird, dude.
I know. It is.
That's psychically paranormal.
Yeah. Because I saw him later and we just talked about it. We were laughing about it. But it's just like, he's a great dude, man.
Yeah.
You know? And, yeah, I mean, I got a chance to work with... Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, you did.
Alongside. I mean,
Yeah.
he's an amazing actor.
You're a great actor.
You know,
And,
I
you
follow
know,
him.
Jerry Heller.
Yeah.
Jerry Heller. He played Jerry Heller.
Right.
They depicted Jerry Heller in there. Jerry Heller was not... I knew Jerry well. Did a lot of stuff with Jerry, concerts and stuff. And Jerry was a shrewd business guy, and there's no doubt about it. But they depicted him, I think, a little too...
Menacing.
nasty and menacing,
Aggressive
and they depicted him too much of being like a thief.
Okay.
Well,
didn't he sue, I believe?
Yeah,
Right?
he did.
Yeah.
He sued him.
Yeah.
Afterwards, but Paul is a great actor. He did a pretty
Yes.
good job with Jerry.
He
Yeah,
did.
not bad. And so you got to do scenes with Paul, or who were you doing scenes with?
Well, he was doing a scene, and then I was going to come up, and he was just
Right.
right next to me. So, you know, I just took advantage and
Right.
just try to absorb everything, you know, that he's doing.
That's like an acting class.
Oh, exactly.
A free acting class.
Free acting
No, they
class.
paid you to go to
They
acting
paid me to
school.
watch them, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's what the Sopranos kid said about being on The Sopranos for
Yeah.
7 years, the son of Tony Soprano, or Gandolfino's, not his real son, but his son. He said, this was the best 7-year acting class I ever had. Just I would never be in my trailer. I'd just be watching these people act.
That's what you do. You got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, because you get
those opportunities.
Really get. So now, were you invited to the premiere and the big party and all that stuff?
No, it wasn't. I mean, it would have been nice, but yeah, it was a good premiere though.
Yeah, it was a great premiere. I was there. I got to. I didn't do the red carpet, but I ended up at the party under the tent. And all that stuff that was going on there. They had a huge premiere. I liked the movie. It was a good movie.
It was good.
Hollywood license.
Great director, yeah.
A little dramatic Hollywood license
so?
there. Yeah, a little bit. The true story was a little bit different. At least from my point of view was. But now when you did that, did that do great for your career? I mean, has that been something?
Yeah, it opened a lot of doors. Got a chance to do other TV shows. Like. Co-starred with John Voight.
John Voight, man, great actor. He used to go to the Hamburger Hamlet there on Van Nuys Boulevard when they were open. That's where him and Bruce Dern would be there all the time. And John Voight, I just saw him at the bookstore on Ventura Boulevard. We were talking.
Really?
Yeah, John. Yeah, John's one of these right-winger conservative Republican guys that I love so much because that's me. He's
a very humble guy too.
But he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I played a Mexican mafioso, right?
No.
So I was
no.
Right, go figure.
You look like
right?
El Chapo.
Go
man.
figure.
Anybody ever say, "Hey man, that's El Chapo. He escaped again"?
Well, I have played a lot of capo, drug kingpin,
right?
Characters on movies and shows. So I embrace it. I grew up right next to the border.
Come on, man. Look
California.
at Danny Trejo. He comes out of jail, does a little boxing on one film, training one of the guys, and then all of a sudden he gets this niche, and he's worked for 30 years, steady. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, man. And then he did Machete, and now he's a leading guy, and he's, late 60s now.
Late 60s, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a perfect example of somebody who embraced his menacing look. Because let's face it, Danny Trejo, isn't Ricky Ricardo, right? Or Tony or Fernando Lamas, right? But Danny Trejo's Danny Trejo, and that's a guy who's embraced his look and embraced the quality that he brings and the energy, and he's a superstar. You can't go anywhere without. Everybody knows Danny Trejo.
He's an amazing actor.
So embrace it, man.
I do.
Yeah.
Cherish it too.
Yeah.
I grew up in I don't know if you're familiar with Calexico, California.
Yeah, I'm familiar. We did a lot of shows in Calexico.
Get out of here.
No, man, with the Movement, Young MC, Tone Loc, Miranda,
Really?
Rage of Rave. Oh yeah, man.
Wow.
I was in the record business for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
At K-Day. Yeah, Calexico, Mexicali, Calexico, El Paso,
Mexicali,
Brownsville, Tijuana. Yeah, I can't go back to Mexico.
Well, I grew up on the border, so I saw a lot of different things. A lot of traumatic things, and it's just I think it's made me a better actor.
What do you think about this wall? You think it's going to work or not?
Okay, here's the thing, man.
Well, tell me your thing. I mean, you grew up on the border.
Yeah.
You knew I had to ask you that because your whole life.
And I'm prepared. I wrote a one-page.
Oh man, he's got a monologue, a dissertation. Jesse T's going to get schooled now. That's right, man. I just might as well sit back. Go. So, what do you think about this wall?
Well,
growing up on the border.
Okay, here's the thing.
In the modern times, we're not talking 80 years ago, which was a different border.
Right.
But now
I have a lot of friends who are Border Patrol agents.
Right.
There's a whole propaganda of how most Border Patrol agents are for the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood. It's their job. They see things at different angles that we don't see. However, have they asked people who actually live? I used to live like maybe 100 yards or 50 yards from the border, from the fence. I used to get stopped all the time, harassed and abused by Border Patrol agents. Once, I was 16 years old. I was in my apartment complex. These two guys, two Border Patrol agents, they stopped me again. And they knew me because they've always stopped me.
Well, Calexico isn't that big of a town.
No, it's
and
not.
when you're that close to the border, kind of everybody of official business knows everybody. They see the same faces.
They do.
Mom, dad, kids, they see the same faces.
So, they just wanted to just
bust your balls a little bit.
They're busting my balls all the time. Yeah. But this one time, they just took it too far. Where, I was 16 years old, a teenager, Yeah. I'm like, tired of being harassed, and these guys stopped me. I'm like, you already stopped me like yesterday. What's your problem? I live here. It's like, no. Where are you from? Where are you going? You jumped the border. Like, very menacing questions. I was like, you know what? It's like, I know you're trying to intimidate me. It's not going to work. I'm used to this. This is my apartment complex. I live here. Leave me alone. Like, I've had it. That's it. I raised my voice, so that's when they got a little bit more ticked off. They got pissed. They got offended. Like this little punk, yelling at me for. Right. So they grabbed my arm.
These guys are going to save the world.
Exactly.
These guys are on a mission.
Right.
Yeah.
They grabbed my arm. They just slammed me against, my dad's truck was there. I remember, a white truck. And so they were trying to hold me down. I'm like, get off me. So when I did this, they pretty much threw me on the ground.
Sure.
And they started like hitting me with their fists.
Yeah.
And one of them got their baton and started hitting me.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know what I mean? There's no need for that.
Right.
I remember.
Now, were you born in America?
I was born in Brawley, California. Yes.
So you're an American citizen.
I am American.
You're American.
Yeah.
Like
everybody else is born here.
Right.
And so these guys, they kick me and they're beating me, and I was yelling, "Apá, apá," it's like, because my dad was there.
Right.
And my dad, funny thing about this story is my dad is, he comes out in his tidy white.
So he's actually, you're at home in your parking lot, basically.
Yeah, I'm in my parking lot, right.
And so he's coming out in his tidy whities, man, right?
It's like, hey, what are you doing? That's my son.
Yeah.
Let him go. And I'm like, Dad, get these punks out of here. And so they're like startled, right? They're
right.
Like, what happened?
Right.
It's like, who's this guy?
Right.
That's my son. You a-hole. He lives here. Like, what's going on? And I'm like just out of breath, and I'm like bleeding, and I'm all messed up.
Sure.
And it's just like, and so now they realize they messed up.
Right.
So they're like, okay, we just wanted, but still they don't apologize.
No.
They're like, no, he's very suspicious, and
no, please never apologize for anything.
And I'm like, are you serious? And now looking back, it's like, Dad, how come you didn't do anything? It just shows you it's a culture,
Well, actually, your dad was smart for not doing anything, because they might have shot him.
Well, I understand.
Coming out
not
like
at that time though. Later on, just even like a complaint, to their supervisor, something.
Right.
It's no need for that.
Right.
So
your take on the wall is we should have a wall, we should have a better wall, we should have a barrier, we should have a better barrier, or we shouldn't, or we should redo the United States of America immigration laws and update them and make them ready, available for today in 2019 rather than 1902.
Well, I could give you I guess a good perspective, Jesse. Living on the border,
right,
and also being I used to be president of the of MAPA,
right? Yeah, sure, I know MAPA,
and right in the border region, San Diego, Imperial County, Riverside County, and working with a lot of leaders. I could tell you that a wall is as irrelevant as Donald Trump serving hamburgers in the White House, right?
Right. It's a non-issue.
It's a non-issue. The thing is, what it's going to cost like over $5 billion.
Well, that's chump change for the United States.
It is. You're right.
Chump change.
It is. It's like 5% of
it's
the total. Right. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
But that's not the case, though. I mean, that money could be used for better immigration laws. There's just got to be a crucial change. Both parties got to meet, and I think it's important for people to realize, just go to the border, talk to people.
Right.
Because all you're doing is talking to Border Patrol agents.
Right.
And the Border Patrol directors, and they're going to tell you their side of the story.
Right.
But go to the people. I mean, they make fun of making tunnels and going down there, but tunnels are one thing, but there's so many. I mean, I kid you not, these guys, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Latinos, they're able to jump the wall like if there were, Olympic athletes.
Right.
Like you have no idea.
Right.
Like 50 feet up, you're gonna raise it. It's not gonna make a big difference. It's not. It is absolutely not gonna make a big difference. There's so many ways you could make it better.
I'll tell you my point of view. I think we need to build a wall from the Gulf of Mexico to San Ysidro and the Pacific Ocean. And everywhere we can put a wall. I think we need to make it 30 to 50 feet high and make it 10 feet deep. Whether it stops one person or stops nobody, it doesn't make any difference to me. It's part of an encompassing plan with the drones and the satellites and the horsebacks and the 4x4s and the redoing of the United States of America's immigration laws and immigration regulations and immigration ideology and encompass the country of Mexico in creating an immigration system that allows people to come in here faster, quicker, but allows the good guys to come in here through good vetting and strong checking.
Yeah, you got to vet people
and
through the lines.
Deters the bad guys and helps the Mexican government deter some of the corruption of the drug cartels, though it's all CIA funded because the biggest illegal drug cartel in the world is the CIA. And that's a whole nother issue. But I think if we have an overall plan, the wall is just a scratch of what it is. It's more of a symbol. It's more of a symbol, like the eagle is a symbol, like the stars and stripes are a symbol. It's the symbol that every country has. Every country has symbols, and that's my take on it.
I understand.
Whether it will
20,
stop
30 years from now, they're going to want to raise the wall again.
Raise it again. Then.
The thing is, I lived in the border for 20 years,
right,
next to the fence, and I could tell you that, most of the people were, families trying to get a better life.
Right.
This country, I would, take them in, serve them water, food, I would communicate with them, try to help them out. And
that's why we have to have a better immigration system that works more fluidly and allows families to come and allows a combination of a lot of rewriting of what our immigration laws are, both on the American side of the border and the Mexican side of the border. It's got to be a better policy. Absolutely. There's got to be some agreement there to allow this exchange of people, because 50 years from now, it's not going to matter. You're going to have Canada, the United States, and Mexico all under one rule. 50 to 75 years from now, I'll be gone. You'll still be alive. We're going to see a one economy hemisphere that's going to encompass maybe even Central America. If they maybe Central America, but certainly Mexico, Canada, and the United States. It's inevitable. It will have to be in order to compete against some of the conglomerate nations that are coming together. India, Russia, and China are already exchanging products, goods, and services without the U.S. dollar. They're doing it in gold. And that's what we went into the Middle East for.
They bought a lot of oil reserves.
Well,
the last 10, 15 years.
Whatever they are doing, it's called the International Monetary and Currency Reserve, and they're bypassing that, which means they're bypassing the IMF, which means they're bypassing the centralized banking system, the fiat fractionalized economic system. They're bypassing all of that, and that's what we went into the Middle East for, not for the oil. We got more oil than we know what to do with. We went in there because we did not want Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi to exchange products, goods, services, and supplies with gold. We couldn't control that. Going into the Persian War, there were 9 nations in the planet that weren't part of the IMF. Now there's only 2, Iran and North Korea. And North Korea is already coming.
Right.
Because that unification is going to happen at some point. It's already happening. It's already happening. They're taking the mines out of the demilitarized zone right now. So it's already happening between North because their leader, he wants to go party in Singapore. He dug that when he was there. So, 50, 75, 80 years from now, it's not going to matter. Not going to matter.
It's not.
Not going to matter. Not going to matter. So, but I just want to get your take on it because you lived on the border.
Yeah.
In that respect. That's cool, man. And does that, one of the things that's happening now, and I think one of the reasons why this has become a hot button topic is because So many people from Mexico came here both legally and illegally over the last 50 years. And then the Central Americans who have been starting since about the last 30 years, both legally and illegally, running away from their countries that were in civil war, like the Salvadorians and the Guatemalans and Hondurans. They left that country because they were guerrillas killing everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? And they've come here. But because of that, America's understanding of Latin history and significance is changed in the last 10 to 15, 20 years.
It has changed a lot.
And the entertainment industry is so reflective of that now, isn't it? I mean, you've got access to more work now than I did when I started 40 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I started
I had to say I was Italian.
I still remember dropping my headshot to studios, to casting directors. And now everything is done online, you know, or you know, the demo reel for an audition for a show or a movie. And I think it's just, not only has it changed the landscape, but it's I think as actors, we're very fortunate because, you know, it's never been like this, you know. So, you know, 15, 20 years back, you know, our ancestors, you know, our actors have struggled,
right?
You know, and now we have it easier. You know, of course, there's always cons to that too, but for the most part, it's great.
But you have such a wide marketplace because now you speak Spanish and English simultaneously, instantly. There's no thought in your brain.
No,
You just
my first tongue was Spanglish.
Spanglish. Well, I first heard Spanglish in Brownsville, Texas, in 1988. It blew my mind. I said, every radio station in America, a major market, is going to have a Spanglish station within 20 years. Well, they do.
They do, yeah.
Every major market in America has maybe more than one, 3 or 4 or 5.
Even though some DJs, they kind of, it doesn't come natural, you know. They
well,
kind
you
of
can
like,
hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah,
they force it kind of, you know.
Like if
but for the most part, yeah, you're right though.
If I did it, it wouldn't come natural at all. I'd sound like, you know, a retard.
They do it just for the sake, I guess. Of speaking
but the
Spanish,
ones that can speak interchangeably, every other word can be Spanish, English. The thought process doesn't change. The picture making that you're making doesn't change. It just happens just like a normal flow. That means there's more work.
There is.
There's more work on the, you know, Spanish is the second largest spoken language in the world outside of Mandarin Chinese and English. Only because Mandarin Chinese, because there's 2 billion people there. But Spanish, that marketplace,
I mean, it's opened up
huge.
A lot of doors. I'm a regular on Telemundo, the soap operas.
I was going to get to that.
I actually studied in Mexico City, the SEA. It's like their, you know, Televisa's actors got to go there before they.
Yeah, it's like Eric Estrada had to learn to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Right.
Eric Estrada. And so, yeah, it's opened a lot of doors. You know, it's fortunate, you know, to have that market as well.
Yeah. And the look that you have, the look that a lot of Latin actors and actresses have now, it's not the typical look that people think Mexicans look like or Central Americans look like. It's your look.
Yeah. It's a unique look.
You look European. You know, you could be Frenchman, you could be an Englishman, you could be a Scottish, you could do Scot, because there's you could do Black Irish. Irish was the Moors, they conquered Ireland too. You could be Middle Eastern. You could be, and these are all the hot button topics that films and TV roles are all about now. I mean, that's so cool. You're so lucky to have that at your grasp. And then you can do the English too.
Yeah, I could just turn around and do some English work.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Do you favor either? Does it really matter?
You know, I favor, just. I mean, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I love soap operas. You know,
that's a paycheck, man.
You know, I was 6, 7 years old, and my grandmother, you know, she raised me pretty much, and just lying next to her watching the telenovelas, I was like intrigued, and I'm like, why are these novelas making my grandmother so happy?
Yeah,
you know, she laughs, she cries.
I know they're so into them. Man.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
and
you saw the effect on somebody.
I did. Yeah, the effect on the power of this performance. You know, that have on these people, different people. And so that's when I said, you know what, I want to become an actor.
So you got bit.
I got bit, yeah.
You got bit at a young age.
I did, yeah. And then
Poor guy.
But you know, I also wanted to be a priest, so that's something.
I'm glad you didn't become a priest.
But then, I was like, yeah, I love women too much. You know,
yes, yeah,
such
thank
beautiful
God.
creatures, and
That's right.
I'm
Aren't
like,
you know,
and acting, you know, that's my thing. I've always done it, so I'm like, yeah, this is what I have to do.
yeah, I've always said that.
I was close to going to the seminary, though.
Yeah, I was close to being gay, but I just like women too much. Yes, there's a joke there somewhere. Yes, it's a Jesse T joke. Very off color
Yeah, I
and
just,
dark.
you know, I'm glad I took that route, though.
Did I get myself in trouble again? Yeah, well, I'm not part of the 72 other genders that they say we have to be today. I can't figure it out. This gender stuff got me all mixed up. I'm just mixed up about all that stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to become Islamic because I'm going to get 72 virgins when I die.
What do you think, Lee?
What do you think?
Nobody's ever come back to tell us whether they got it.
Well, you know, that's why they pray five times.
I always thought about
I'm
that.
not taking a chance.
You know, that's why they pray 5 times a day with their asses up in the air. Because when they go to heaven, meet Allah, they get their ass kicked by 72 virgins. So they're just getting used to it. Oh, I got myself in trouble again.
Not again.
Yes, I know. But, well, you know, I got to be me. What can I tell you? I can only be me, Jesse T. Jesse T show here. We have Arturo Encinitas.
Close.
Encenitas?
Encinas.
Encinas.
Yeah.
I'm going to screw your name up, Encino.
It's all right.
Okay?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Twice.
All right? That's right. Let me see. I got 4 more screw-ups to do, okay? I try to screw everybody's name up at least 6 times because then people remember it. What do you want to do next? What are you looking at doing? What do you got on your agenda? What are you reading for? You got something. You got something that something that's in post-production right now.
Yeah, I got a couple of projects. You know, it's pretty much started the year.
Can you talk about them?
Great. I can a couple of films, you know, the whole NDA thing. But I'll tell you what, though.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
Tell me what. Tell me what. Tell me what, brother.
I'll tell you what, Jesse.
Tell me what.
Tocayo.
Oi!
Once it's you know, it's a go.
Yeah.
You'll be the first one to know, buddy.
I thought I was going to
Numero
get some,
uno.
I thought I was going to get some
Tocayo.
secret
Numero
stuff,
uno.
but I'm going to be number 1. Lord, why can't he have breastises and a butt? Then I can really be number 1.
No, but there's another film I could talk about. I wrote and I'm gonna direct this year.
You like writing?
I do. It's amazing. I've always been like a, you know, amateur poet.
Right.
But as far as the writing, I mean, there's too much material, man. Growing up in the border, there's this movie I wrote. It's called El Pecado del Padre.
Okay, got it.
The sin of the father, right?
Uh-huh. Pass to the son.
Yeah, and there's just actually there's a show you did. You were talking about your dad.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, that was me. That's like you talked about him drinking gin.
Yeah.
At 10 years old.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You recall
and he
that?
yes. Had no teeth. The only way he could get rid of the pain because he started drinking gin from a flask in Chicago at 10 years old. This is 1942.
Right, and it was you know, accepted.
Yeah.
It was like whatever. Right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're poor and you're growing up in the streets, because he left home when he was 10, 11 years old, man. And he's got the scars on his body as to why he left home. To this day, you know, there was no medical insurance.
Right.
There was no doctoring. There was not, you know, you can't forget it. Go away.
Right.
So kids would just get their teeth pulled and drink.
Forget the anesthesia, right?
Yeah, that was the anesthesia.
Right.
And before and after. Yeah, so that's cool, man.
So there's this one scene, right? You know, it's based on, you know, true events as well. But I was about 9 or 10, and we're in Mexicali.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you recall, you know, there's a lot of cantinas, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a cantina, and then right behind it, there's an alley. So my mom, my dad, and myself, we would go there. My dad, we would go in, you know, with the chavelas.
Right.
With the beer mug, a little bit of clamato, right?
Yeah.
And he would be there sometimes 2-3 hours, right? And my mom would, you know, my dad would send the bartender to give my mom some beer, you know,
Right.
give her a couple of beers, you know.
Right.
So we would just be outside waiting, right? And then when my mom would want to go, she would say, "Mijo, dile a tu papá Que nos vayamos ya. I'm like, I knew it. It's my time, right?
Yeah.
So, but see, I was happy to do that. I'm like,
Sure.
Mom, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go. So I would walk into the bar, right, in the cantina.
Of course, man.
Bartender would
You're
know
a
me.
kid,
Hey,
man.
mijo. Hey, what's up? So I would know everybody.
Right.
I mean, there were, ficheras.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There were, people playing dominoes.
Man, you're painting a great picture for us,
Yeah,
too. I mean,
right.
that is so cantina.
It is.
What year was this approximately?
90.
I was going to say late 80s.
No, early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Well, same timeline. Yeah, that was.
93, 94.
I can't tell you how many times we performed in places like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it's, people might, nowadays be like, what's a 10-year-old, 9-year-old doing at a cantina? But for me, it was like every weekend.
Yeah.
That was my second home, right?
No different.
So I would sit down with my dad, and I would just, and my dad would know it's time to go, right?
Yeah.
But I would, he would have, mijo, have some cerveza. Many times he wouldn't
Yeah.
even tell me. I would just get it.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go, Dad.
Yeah, that's right.
So a
That's pretty
9-year-old,
good. That's pretty good.
drinking.
You're doing that at 9, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt comfortable,
Well, it was part of the cultural thing.
It's part of
too.
culture, yeah.
It is part of the cultural thing, and for a lot of people who don't understand different cultures, that's normal.
I mean, I wouldn't do it with my son.
Oh no, I mean,
but
if you were living down on the border right now,
but if you live there, I mean,
and this was your life, even today, 2019, you're same thing. You'd be. It's the same cultural thing.
Yeah, thank God I didn't become an alcoholic or anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Absolutely, man.
But it was possible though. I've seen a lot of people go
Now,
that
my
route.
dad drank till my mom passed away. He drank real hardcore after that, and then one day he woke up and said, "I'm done," just like that. Bang.
But don't you think that? See, now in hindsight, I believe that those moments, for me, was the most precious moments because I got a chance to be close to my dad.
Oh yeah.
In that instant, maybe not at home, maybe not anywhere else, but at that moment, my father and me were just like this.
See, that's a great story, man.
Yeah.
And if you're writing that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
that's cool stuff because it's the truth. It's the true story. Every child, every boy, every girl, every little one wants to be close to their dad and their mom. Unfortunately, so many of them aren't. The great number of them are in our country today, but so many aren't.
Right.
And it's just a part of that desire, and that you grab for anything, any little thing.
Any little thing, yeah.
Just right. And sometimes that little thing is just enough, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I could have stayed home with my grandparents,
Right.
and played, but I wanted to go because I knew I was going to get a chance
Yeah.
to go to the bar and drink with my father
And hang out.
and hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. So that's the kind of stuff you're writing about. Bring that kind of that those stories from that time of your life.
Just keeping it real, man.
Yeah.
Just even as it's vulgar and obscene, but that's just the way it is, I mean, at least that was my life.
Yeah,
So.
and with the technology today, with the cameras that you can use and the movement of the camera today,
Right.
and this reality aspect that reality TV brought and changed how filmmaking, this real gritty kind of feel,
Very gritty.
It's totally what is going on today in the real world. And then you got the big studio pictures with the big giant, 400-foot green screens behind you, which is not reality at all. So, but the independent movie producer is great. So producing and writing, directing too.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to put me in one of your films. At least running away from some guys that want to beat me up or something. I mean, just make sure I don't have to come out with my tidy whities on. All right.
Yeah, I'll try not to, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll be a bartender though, and tidy whities maybe.
Oh, now look I'll be a bartender in tidy whities if I'm a bartender in a girls' club. That's for sure. Chippendales 2019 style. That's right. Of course, when you get to be my age, ain't nothing happening in the tidy whities anymore.
Magic J.
Oh yeah. Well, with my luck, I would probably get myself in way too much trouble, and Mama T would not let me back in the house. And I'd be at the bar. But my son's 23 and daughter's 28, so I'd be by myself. No, I'm going to call
20s?
you.
Nice.
I'm going to blame you.
Blame me. I'll take it. Why not?
Absolutely. So, how's the career going? Is it moving along like you thought it would?
Yeah, it's I think 2019 is it's just been at the start of the year. It's just so many projects coming up. So many meetings with directors, casting directors, different agencies, and it's just like it's blowing up, man. And I'm glad because it's it could be a roller coaster.
Right.
Could be a roller coaster.
I was looking at your
this year
IMDb site, and it's growing and growing and growing. It's not a matter of how much you've done on your IMDb site. It's a matter of what you've done.
Right.
And the type of production
Quality,
and the quality of what you've done. There's a lot of super A-lister stars that only have 30, 40, 60 credits. I mean, even you look at Hugh Jackman's IMDb site. He doesn't have 300 credits. He's got 45. But it's what you do.
Quality work.
The quality of work and what you do. And then there's guys that have 200 or 300 or 400 credits, like Tom Sizemore, who unfortunately is in trouble again. But 200, 300, 400 credits, these guys. So that's not a matter of quantity. It's a matter of the quality of what you do. And if you pick good projects and you have control of them, so that's cool. You can.
Yeah, now we could create our own content, which is great.
You don't need to have $10 million to make a film.
Right. You don't.
I mean, you look at some of these on different people's IMDb sites, and they put the amount of money that production costs. Some of them are $10,000, and they make $500,000.
Yeah.
Some of them are $2,000, and they make nothing. Some of them are $20 million, and they make $4 million.
$4 million, right?
So you just it's
You're right.
It's cool to be able to control that and have that aspect.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we did a feature for less than 10,000.
Yeah,
like
a feature.
It's a feature. Yeah,
yeah.
It's
full cast.
Yeah,
light crew, gaffers, grippers, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. You see, that's cool stuff, and that's what the technology is afforded. And I think that's why we're having this explosion of a lot of great talent out there now. And it's just it really has the ability. The biggest thing I think is perseverance.
It is.
That's a hard
perseverance.
Thing. Sticking to it. When life dishes out life.
Well, I've always said this, Jesse. For me, there's never been a plan B.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's that simple.
That simple, yeah. I mean, family, friends, especially family are always going to be against it or not supportive.
Right.
But if you know what you're worth, you know your value, and you know you're destined to be this and to do this. It doesn't matter if it happens now; it's going to happen eventually. And I've been at this for a few years, and what's that expression? It's like he or she was an overnight success. It only took about 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always had this fantasy about sitting in Johnny Carson's chair to the right, right? When Johnny was there, that he asked me, so there's an overnight sensation, Jesse T. And I look at me, I'm overnight going on 40 years, right?
Right.
And
there you go.
And I even top it better than that. My first agent was blind, testament to my talent. That's a true story.
Yeah, really?
My first agent was blind. I couldn't get an agent in this town for the life of me as an adult. As a kid, I had one, but when I made that transition, I stepped away for, good 10 years at that point, and I couldn't make the transition. And my first agent was blind. I didn't know. Here's the bad thing. I didn't know he was blind till a year later.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And I used to go into his office.
He was an actor then.
He always wore the Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles glasses, man. And I had no idea. And that's a whole nother story. I've told it many times. But yeah, that's how talented I am.
Wow.
My agent is blind.
It's a good story, man.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's like the first radio station I worked at. They wouldn't let me turn on the mic. Wonder why, Lee?
You talk too much.
Yeah, well, I guess he's telling me I'm talking too much today.
You should have been in talk radio.
What's
music radio?
Oh, that's right. I tried to get into talk radio earlier, but I had to be in this town. You had to be an absolute liberal because they ruled. No, you can be whatever you want to be in that respect. So what else? What else do you got coming up here? What can we see you in? Where can they find you? Where can folks kind of say, hey, I'm going to follow this guy's career? Or give me some spots.
Yeah, they could follow me on Instagram, Arturo Encinas Official.
Arturo Encinas.
Arturo with that.
Arturo.
Like Torero.
Torero.
Arturo.
That's right.
Arturo Encinas Official. Find me on IMDb, of course. As far as the projects, still doing the soap operas, Telemundo, and have a couple films.
What's your character?
It's actually refreshing because a lot of TV shows and movies, I play the bad guy, the menacing guy, the cop.
Ah, you, man. Yeah.
But, it's but I'm happy because, these soap operas, I play different characters.
Good.
And I play doctors as well.
Yeah, you got that.
Like medical doctors.
All right, well, I'm not.
I mean, lo and behold, I've also played witch doctors, right? But
look it. I already did this 2 months ago, okay? All right, Doc?
Not again.
I don't have to do it again, do I? Oh, man. The Jesse T Show, man. Arturo. Thank you. Check it out. Podcasting now, YouTube. Jesse Torero. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya!
Thank you, guys.
You sure you play a doctor? How about a doctor I love, man? Can you hook me up with anything?